Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 344. Hopefully you guys had a great day. We've got Rob's Beans Man on Instagram. How you doing tonight? You want to tell us how you doing and, of course, where we can find you?
Yeah, I'm doing real good.
Hello,
You can find you
Eagle.
can find me on Instagram at robbeansman. Um, That's pretty much it. I don't have a YouTube. I don't have anything else, so pretty much just the Instagram. I have Facebook too, but I don't really use it much. I don't know. I kind of got fed up with Facebook, like too many ads and like too many spam posts. So I prefer Instagram.
Yeah, I gave up on Facebook a long time ago. I recently just reconnected it. Well, I didn't like the Facebook thing because I didn't like Facebook. So I kind of just ducked out on it. I think I stopped using it, really stopped posting like 2010, something like that. Because back then they even announced it. The Instagram police were coming. If you post any drug things, they were looking at you and gonna fuck with you and shit. And I was like, all right, done. Done. Obviously, you've got whatever posts I've already posted, so I'm just done with you, Facebook. And I was happy with that for the longest time. And then they backdoored me with Instagram, their partnership with Instagram. I was like, God damn it, Facebook's in. So, kind of one of
Yeah,
them things, I guess.
like for a while on Instagram, they were flagging people's posts. I mean they still are, but it seems to be like they're letting more things go by now. So I think that's good. I think they're starting to see that it's not this harmful thing. So
It's about it'd be nice if at least one platform would let us roll for a good while. It is becoming more and more illegal every day. You know, they just need to get over it, I believe.
yeah, I mean, this is people's medicines. So to flag posts and to ban people or shadow ban people, it's just kind of messed up when we're part of the people helping, keeping them in business. So but I understand laws are laws, and they're kind of stuck, or at least I'm assuming they're kind of stuck between the state legality, like where I am, where it's legal, and the federal legality where it's still illegal. So
So, what'd you bring to the show to smoke on? Oh, what you
I'm
got
glad
there?
you asked that. I brought a few things. I brought some of my usuals that I keep in my flower room at all time. I have some jelly roll. I have Big Cat Kush. Those are from Tiger Stripe Genetics. They're out in Oklahoma right now. Originally from California, I think. Real good guys. So I got some of their stuff. And I also have some Mac 1 Panama Red from Bred by Boston Bob. And I can tell you it's phenomenal. It really is. So I was really pleasantly pleased with that one and how it came out. So
It's nice. So we might as well get rolling with it. What one when was it? And tell us about your little tell us about your first experience with Lady Cannabis.
yeah, no, I remember it like pretty vividly. Um, like it was in high school, I think like freshman year. I was probably like 14. And like the week before we went to my buddy's house and we'd go to this kid's house because his parents were always working and no one was ever home. So we'd go there and hang out. And like the weekend before, we got pretty drunk there, and we ended up walking to another buddy's house, and the kid's mom kind of like busted a few of us and, like made a big deal about it. So a couple kids got like sick and puked. So after that, we were like, like, let's see what else is there. So, also at the same time, like there was tons of weed in school. So it wasn't hard to come by. And, we wanted to see what all the fuss was about. So we figured we'd try it out. And like we loved it. We had a blast. We laughed our asses off. Um, listened to music and ate food and just had a good time. So, and that was like I don't remember the year. I'd have to look into it, but it was freshman in high school, I remember. And I remember we smoked like a couple times that day. The first time we smoked, I don't remember getting super high, but I do remember getting high that day. So I got to experience like what it was about day one. And those are some of my most memorable times of smoking was like, when you first start smoking, because we would just get like baked off our asses. And like it was good times. So I look back on those days like fondly.
Definitely some great childhood friendships built in them sessions for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, it was like you kind of had to be cool with the kid who had the bud, or at least you like wanted to be cool with him. So um so but like aside from that, the friendships you make around it are genuine and real. So I definitely it was definitely like good experiences.
So was it? Did it take off with like a pretty frequent thing right off the bat, or was it just
Oh,
occasional?
absolutely, absolutely. It was like a love at type thing. I mean, love at first sight type thing, and a lot of my other friends liked it equally. So we definitely partook as much as we could. Um, obviously back then it was still highly illegal. So there was a lot of like going out into the woods and just like being paranoid that someone was gonna bust us or um but like whenever we could we would. So before sporting events and before prom, before a test, before school, um after school. So
Do you remember some of the strains you guys were able to get back then, or was it still just the good old brick weed?
like there was a variety. You did have brickweed, but there was a lot of brickweed and swag and mids. um there was different like grades of brickweed. There was like the worst of the worst, and like the semi-seeded and like the non-seeded. And there was kind bud, there was dro, stuff like that. The first names I really remember are like Northern Lights, White Widow, Blueberry, um, stuff like that. A lot of times, like it didn't even have a name; they just call it like weed. Like here's some weed, dude.
So at what point did you find the medicinal value in cannabis, or how long would you consider it to been wrecked before you kind of found, some kind of medical value?
I mean, I think like the whole time I was probably, smoking it for, some form of, like some form of relief. Not that like my life was that terrible. Like I had a, pretty decent childhood and high school, but like I found the effects of cannabis like totally in line with what I was searching for, like that relaxation, that, that I mean, I could go on, like, and then you have different strands, so you have different effects from different strands, which like I don't think a lot of people realize and maybe don't consider enough is like, do they have like a morning bud and like an afternoon bud and like a night bud? Or are they just smoking like, heavy stuff throughout the day, like, so, um, but yeah, so yeah, I think
So,
it was probably probably more within the last 5 years with the whole, recreational movement and the legalization movement that, I really understood the whole, grasp of it as a medicine. But, I think it was always there. It was always for a medical purpose. It wasn't just about getting, stoned out of my mind, which is good too. Don't get me wrong.
oh, there's nothing wrong with getting heavenly medicated for sure, for sure. So, are you strictly a flower guy? Do you dab? Do you do the edibles?
I'm primarily a farm guy. I like jobs, but I just don't have like all the equipment and right now it's more so like flour, maybe some homemade hash, some bubble hash, edibles, plenty of edibles. I got coconut oil, medicated coconut oil that I made. So, I have options. So
As you should. As you should.
yeah,
I believe we should all keep a little bit of everything cannabis around. It's good to kind of mix it up, from time to time, day to day. I definitely love me some edibles, that's for sure.
absolutely. But currently my dab game is kind of weak. I'd like to maybe like as things go along a little bit, I'll have better access to them, but it's still pretty expensive to get and like here at least. So especially for someone like me who's not like too well versed in it, like definitely more of a flower guy.
Can you tell us where you are, kind of roughly, state-ish?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh yeah, I'm
You know,
in Massachusetts, um, born and raised. So East Coast.
definitely got a lot of cool East Coast people that hang out around here. That's for sure. A lot of cool people from the East Coast.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
welcome to the edition of cool people from the East Coast.
And no, we did. I think like looking back, I was like, at least from talking with other people, like I genuinely feel like I was spoiled just with the amount of like variety we had and just the different kinds of bud and just the different qualities and like I might have missed a few before, but like the more I think back about it, the more different kinds I remember.
So when did you start growing? You want to tell us a little bit about that first experience in growing?
Yeah, like probably like 18ish and not really knowing much about it. Um wasn't really like in the forums or anything and had very little knowledge about what I was doing. So um that was like my first attempt at it. Um it's really been like it's only been the past like 5 years that I've really been, like much more serious about it. Um like totally ditched, and nothing against it, but I ditched bottled nutrients. It just wasn't for me. Um, I had to go kind of like a more organic route. So, and like it was just something I wanted to try. Um, I think it was like the subcool soil recipe, and I think I followed that and like came out so good that after that I never went back to bottled nutrients. But nothing against bottled nutrients. If that's your thing and you're good with that, then stick with that. It's like whatever you want to do is cool. And it shouldn't be like, people shouldn't diss people for what kind of nutrients they use, because like some people could argue that, nitrogen is nitrogen, and phosphorus is phosphorus no matter where it comes from. um but it was just something I wanted to try, and the main difference I noticed was in the taste and smell department. It was just leaps and bounds beyond what I was doing before that.
Right on. Are you still in super soil now, or are you more more into the organic phase of it?
you know it's kind of like I'm doing a mix right now. It's not full blown. It's not KNF. It's nothing too crazy. It's mostly just about what's practical. Um, just for the current situation, and that's just old roots organics dry amendments. Nothing super fancy, nothing super. You could argue that, oh well, that's not, that might not really be organic, but that's just what I've been using. It's sort of half about the ease of it for me. It's just very easy for me. um and like I don't think it should be too challenging of a process. I think we want to complicate it, and I think that's, for me it's like I need to keep it simple. you know so that's what I'm using. It's just their line, their uprising, and their terp tea.
So, what kind of lighting system have you? What'd you start out with, and what are you running now?
Started out with T5s, or T8s, whatever they were, maybe, and switched to HPS. Um, I've tried LED, like I've tried the blurple ones. I've tried the newer models, the quantum boards. Um, I'm a big fan of metal halide lights, so um, my biggest, I think the best thing I ever did was run like a few different types of lights, and sort of like like try to get the mixed spectrum off of them, and like that's probably my favorite little trick in the toolbox is to use like a broad range of lights.
So do you grow more from seed, or do you just run just a mix, keep a clone garden going? How did you? I would think with a name like Rob's Beansman, you would be running quite a few beans.
Like any seeds, yeah. I mean, I think like, hold on, I gotta get this better. I think like part of growing is you need to know how to clone. Like I honestly like I feel bad for people who don't know how to clone because they're missing out on like saving their favorite varieties. Like you you could plant, you can't just rely on having more seeds to find that same particular phenotype that you cherish so much, and like you're not guaranteed to find it again if you have however many seeds left. So I think I'm a huge proponent of cloning. But Beansman, I don't know. I don't have any like funny or clever story about the name. It's just kind of like um, like if I had a weed last name, like that would be my weed last name. So if that makes any sense.
Right on, right on. So you want to tell me a little bit about your grow technique? Walk me walk me through how you'd veg system pre-flower dating, if you will.
Okay, yeah. Um, I usually start if I'm like doing seeds, I'll start them in like something like solo cups with peat moss, perlite, vermiculite. Um, I'll start them in that, and once they get the 5 finger leaves or 7 fingers, I'll transplant them to usually they're like a 1 gallon or a 2 gallon. Um, if it's regular seeds, and then once I sex them, I'll move them into like the 5 or the 7 or something like that. Um, finish them out, and then let them veg another week or two, and then flip them into flower. So that's what
As
I
far
do.
as plant training, do you do any kind of plant training,
Oh, absolutely,
multi-tapping?
absolutely. Each component of the seed. I think it's if you're scared of like hurting your plant, if you're like a newer grower, I highly recommend LST. It's the least stressful um form of training. So but yeah, I definitely top mostly I'll top if I'm trying to like you know keep the plant shorter, or maybe encourage more um you know branching and whatnot. But you know ideally I won't top it more than once or twice, because I'll have already developed a pretty even canopy by by training it in the way I want it to look. And the way I want it to look is like a tabletop. Like I want it to look like it comes up like this and then whoop goes out like that, so it can get the most light coverage. Um so yeah, so usually I'll go about that by doing a decent amount of LST, um low stress training.
Nice, nice, nice. So,
How about you? What do
yeah,
you?
what do I do? I'm in cocoa. I run in cocoa mainly, and as far as plant training, it's pretty much whatever it calls for. I tend to let them grow up tall and then kind of pretty much like you said, tabletop them, just kind of bend them over in whichever direction that I need them in. Definitely not low stress. I'm very brutal on some of my plants, but it works for me. It works for me. So,
It
uh,
works for a lot of people. They usually do not mind heavy stress training or high stress training, whatever. They actually usually 2 days later, a day later, look better already. If that's what your plant requires to get the shape that you're looking for, um, just be gentle, go slowly, start from the top, work your way down a little until you can bend it the way you want it without snapping it in half.
usually I wouldn't be so impersonal and have this fucking background up. Which, by the way, Bingus, I love the background. Don't get me wrong. Bingus and Chad is the one that designed the background for me, but I don't usually use it for the one-on-ones. And it's usually, I think it's like, I don't know. I kind of get the feeling when it's like the one-on-ones. It's like kind of too showy and like impersonal. Usually, I have the background or my grow behind me, but it's kind of roughed up right now for me being kind of. I'm working and doing. I got a lot going the last few days, but regardless, I've got a mess behind me. Is why, unfortunately, you got the background tonight. So sorry about that in
No,
advance. So,
I'm sorry. I'm kind of jealous.
yeah, usually I would be happy to have them beautiful girls behind me.
I think it's been asked if I wanted a background. Not pissed. Don't get me wrong. I don't want them to take it the wrong way, but I should have made my own background. Let's put it that way. But I'm not like technically savvy enough to do that. So you're stuck with the back of my garage here. So I
Oh, me
apologize.
neither.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Oh no, man. If it wouldn't be for Bingus, I'm not that tech savvy either on a great background. So if it wouldn't be for Bingus, it'd be the same thing. So pretty awesome. Kevin Jodry just popped into chat. Much respect to you, sir. Thank you for popping in.
Yeah, I've never heard a bad video.
So, what is some of the flavors that you enjoy with cannabis? What are some of the terp profiles that you like?
Um, the one I like more than anything in the world, and I can't find it, is that old Piff Haze that we used to get back in the day. Um, it was all over Boston, all over New York, and that's like what I search for, but I have not yet found it. So that's my ideal taste. And it's hard to explain, but it was like this kind of weird incensey, um, like mothbally, sort of like your grandfather's basement kind of thing. But it was like at the time, it was just like the best weed that we had ever had. And to this day, like nothing, I can't find anything that I liked as much as that stuff. Um, I'm a big sour guy. I love sour. I love chem. I love skunky stuff. Um, like the stinkier the better. I just want it to be like ridiculously flavorful. Um, if it's in the morning, something more like an orange or a lemon type of terpene profile. Um, nighttime, something more like berry or grape, uh, that sort of thing. Like that's what I'm really flavor is my primary thing. That's, because when I'm smoking, I can't tell if it's 20 or 25% or 30%. Maybe I can, but I can't tell if it's 19% or if it's 22% just by smoking it. But I can tell if it's, like full of terpenes or if it's just air, like no flavor. So big
I
proponent.
appreciate the fact that you bring that up, man, because I think people actually base that number too high, when they're making their decisions. I kind of miss back in here in Michigan. It wasn't too long ago where we could actually just go in and nose jars. You know what I mean? Open them up, and I never even back in them days never even asked. I never even care. I still don't even care about that number. I prefer to let my nose pick, just like you're saying. If I'm going to buy, you know what I mean? Totally by nose. I could give two shits about that number.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's like one of the biggest travesties in the, past few years is the whole um high T number chasing. It's just, like it's sort of like the yin and the yang. And I feel like, like when you're only breeding for that one thing, you may be neglecting other things like flavor, and like, does everybody need that high of a number? I guess it's really situational, like depending on like what they need it for, because I know there are people that could probably benefit from those higher numbers. Um, but it's just never been like, it was never important, it never mattered up until the past few years. Um, and like, how do you even trust the numbers? You can't, you know. So unless you show me the numbers from 3 different labs and they're all exactly the same to the milli, whatever, to the to the point, then I don't trust it. And I just don't expect that to happen.
Well,
So
the numbers can be somewhat valuable if you know what they mean. And that's one thing that I'm kind of let down about a lot of these provisioning centers is that they don't take the time to explain. I really would like to see, well, in most cases here in Michigan, if you go to one, you kind of like joining a club. You know what I mean? You go in and it's somewhat of a membership. You present your cards, you become in their stuff. And I think when you go to a new club that you haven't been to before, I think there should be some type of like educational class. You know what I mean? Your first time here, do you really know how these numbers work? Well, step over here and just like a little kiosk where you have to watch a 5 minute video and it explains the different terpenes and how that number, what it means and what it's going to affect your how it's going to affect your selection. I think would be pretty awesome, at least until the general public has an idea of what the heck they're looking at.
yeah, I couldn't agree more. Um, you know, I get that like a lot of people going in there will, maybe um think that like a higher number means that it's better in some way. Um and I just feel like it, like you said it, without knowing anything else about it. Um I think it's a little misleading, especially if, I think it sounds good that if you're going into a dispensary over there, that you're almost becoming like, part of a club, and you're becoming a club member, because that's how it should be. Like, I was talking to my friend earlier and we were talking about like what happens when you find that perfect strand. right? That one that treats all your ailments. And then, like it's around for a while. And then one day it's gone and you can't get it anymore. Like, are you just shit out of luck? You know, you might be if you don't have, someone like, maybe guiding you on, like similar, maybe not like completely the same, but just similar strands that, might affect you similarly to what you're looking for. But I always found that to be concerning, and I think like these dispensaries, like if they don't know their product, if you're working there and you don't know your product, then like what are you doing? Like what are you doing there? Let someone work there who does know what they're talking about, because people are going in there for medicine, and they're not, it's not because they have like a headache or something. Like these are, like chronic serious ailments that people have, and like they need legit medicine. So I definitely think there should be guidance for people, for patients who are going into the dispensaries, like a bud sommelier type thing. Sommelier, whatever, however you say it.
So how are you seeing some of the attitudes change around you as far as cannabis goes?
Yeah,
Is it still a stigma? You know what I mean?
definitely not. People, I think people consider it like um similar to alcohol, maybe. Like I think people are pretty open-minded to it. Even if they don't smoke or partake, they for the most part they're supportive of it. There's always going to be those people who aren't, but the general consensus is definitely, people are all for it. They're seeing that it's, not this bad. It's a terrible thing.
What is some of the what would you say is one of the most popular strains currently in your area? What's the hype in your
Oh,
area?
it's all the new stuff like the runts and wedding cake and all those crosses of those types of things, like the newer stuff really. um that's what, it's just like people always want to try the newest thing. So I don't know if it's the brand recognition or what, but that's what's really like, popular right now. But you know there's also a lot of like old stuff that's still like timelessly popular, like OG Kush, um, stuff like that. That's just never gonna go out of style. It's like still around and people still buy it.
So does that affect your decisions? How do you when you're putting your money out?
Mhm.
How do you base your decisions on what you're gonna buy? Do you base it on hype, on what everybody's talking about, or do you base it on quality breeders, or how do you go about choosing putting your money where your mouth is? You mentioned a breeder earlier, so like how'd you come across them, and what what makes you make your choices in beans? If you don't mind me
Um, Me personally, I only want to grow stuff that I can't find like out on the streets or in a dispensary. So if I could like go around the corner and get it off some guy, then I don't want to grow it, because like I just want to grow stuff that's like different, or you know, rare or unique, or harder to come by. It makes it more fun. Um, like it just makes the whole experience like a lot more interesting. So I never go based on, what's popular. I could honestly, and that's just me personally, like, if you need to grow what's popular, then that's cool, you know. Um they're usually popular because they're pretty damn good, you know. Like my buddy was telling me that, and I think he made a good point, because I was kind of ragging on some of the, modern hype strands, and he was like, dude, those hype strands wouldn't be hype strands if they weren't really fucking good. And it blew my mind, because I thought like, dude, there's no way this stuff can be that good. It's just hype, blah blah blah. And like part of that's true, but the way he put it, it really made me realize that, there are certain things that, you know, could command a higher value depending on, what people would pay for it. Um, but me personally, I could care less. I just want to grow stuff that I want to grow because I think it looks cool, or it looks like something I think I'll enjoy. So, like I'll be on Instagram and I'll look at someone's stuff and I'll be like, that looks like something I'd be interested in, you know? And that's all it is just, finding stuff that you think will be good for you, because it'll be good for you. Um, like you like the effects, you like the taste and smell, and you also want to consider like your environment and if you think it'll do well in your environment. Um, like I'm in the Northeast, it gets cold here during the winter, as you know, where you are. And so like it would cost me a fortune to run the heat 24/7. Like I would need to keep the room perfectly 77 all the time. So sometimes I will purposely look for strands that can handle the, colder environment that I'm in. And a lot of times that's how I make that's how I make my selections. Like I select the ones that, are pretty much bulletproof to my area. So,
Right on. So, has you, do you have any consideration on what's your thoughts on autos?
Autoflowers?
Yeah.
Um, I think they're like a good tool for a lot of people. I think it's, like it's a necessary part of the industry. Um, so I personally don't grow them, but like I know people who really rely on that bumper crop of autos in the springtime. Um, I mean, living up here with the short summers, autos can be pretty damn useful. Like that might be. I mean, like if people are getting, an extra crop out of running some outdoor autos, or even just leaving some autos in their veg tent, then if that's bud they weren't going to have otherwise, then I'm all for it. So I don't know. Autos are, I think they're pretty interesting. Um, so I think it's just a lot of, they're popular, people like them. Um, like it's an option, like it's just one more option besides feminized and regular photo period seeds. Um, Yeah.
So, are you dry trimmer, wet trimmer? What's your preference there?
Oh, definitely a dry trim. I will not wet trim. It's just too messy. Dry trimming also, like, you get the like a lot more keef. I feel like for like dry sift hash and everything. So I don't know, for like a bunch of reasons, I just personally prefer dry trimming.
Whole plant hang?
Oh yeah, if as long as your environment allows it, don't don't like if you have 80% relative humidity, you probably shouldn't hang the thing whole. But as long as your like environment is good, then yeah, definitely whole hang upside down. um I don't wait until it's like crunchy, but kind of just like right before it gets crunchy.
So, do you? I heard you mention coconut oil. Is that the only thing you would suggest doing with some of your waste you trim material there?
um I mean, the one thing I don't recommend is just throwing it away. Like, find a use for it. um even if you have to, even if it's just throwing it into your compost, like for next season or whatever, just don't throw it away. If it's really good trim, then that's prime hash material. So if people are throwing that away, like, do not do that, like, or send it to me, because I'll keep it.
What would be the one thing you could change about your grow right now?
Um, Probably like I'd get everything totally environmental controlled, like um digital, like like temperature and humidity controls and all that shit, like completely automated. um that would be like, you know that would be pretty nice for me, because like I'm always battling some sort of either low humidity, or low temperatures, or then like high temperatures. It's always something, you know and that's not even with a tent, that's like in a room. So
That's definitely an important thing. That'd be a good one to change or keep. Make sure you've got intact. That's for sure.
yeah.
So, I can you kind of hinted to it, but has that? Would you say that has been your biggest struggle that you've concurred through your grow career so far?
um I don't know. I mean, not really. I think I've probably been through every possible like bad thing that can happen. Um, except for spider mites. That's the only thing I haven't experienced yet. And fingers crossed that I don't have to deal with those. But I've had every other problem you could ever have. So it's all part of the
Have you been
discipline. That's what makes you a better pro.
Have you been indoors the whole time? Have you?
No, no, both. Definitely like that. It gets hot here in the summertime, so like it's not uncommon to get like 100 degrees in the dead of summer here. So Definitely, I love throwing them outside. It's just there's something so natural and beautiful about them being out there, getting the full sun. You know, just they're always happier. They always seem happier out there. Not that it comes out as good, but you know, especially like late veg, early flower, they just look so happy in in their natural environment. You know, like nothing's more beautiful than a plant, just an outdoor plant that's just huge, you know.
I have to agree. I have to agree. I think cannabis in general is a pretty amazing looking plant. You know what I mean? It is so many different colors and shapes you can get out of them. It's a lot of variety. You know,
It really is. It's like the plant. um, Sorry, yeah, so
so is I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you go.
Is there any up? Is there any strains that you're looking to acquire anytime soon in your garden?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, yeah, the next thing I'm working on is Panama Red. Um, this one's from Anthro Amelia, but same parentals, the Mac One Panama Red, but this one's from a different breeder, another good friend of mine. So shout out to him, Anthro Lower Dash Amelia.
He's been around quite a while, quite some time in the chats, and I got much respect. He supported the show for quite some time. Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome to see him in my chat. So
yeah, absolutely.
glad you gave him a shout out.
I think you might have put me on to your show, but I don't remember. I forget who it was, but it might have
I've
been
tried
him.
to get him to get. I've tried to get. Maybe you can persuade him to come on the show because I've asked him a few times too. So maybe
Yeah,
we can. Maybe you can help me out there.
I'll do my best, man. I will definitely. I'll talk to him. That would be a great episode. I don't know why he wouldn't do it, you know, but you know, it's I guess it's not for everybody, and I'm sure like I don't know. I don't know the logistics of it, so I don't want to start to, like
Oh, right on, right on. I know he's in chat. That's why I wanted to razz him a little bit there because I would like to get him on, but I do understand. You know, it is. I don't. You know, I get a little squirmy being on the other side of it. To be honest with you, I don't know why, but you know,
oh,
it
it's
it,
kind of
it almost the interviews are like almost over by the time I get warmed up. To be honest with you.
I should have just warned people like just skip to like 45 minutes. It'll be better. I promise you. But yeah, that's how it goes. It is nerve-wracking no matter how many times you've done it. It's just it never gets easier. There's always that like nervous excitement about it. Um I've been like I mean it's late here, like I'm never up this late, but and I've been like pretty much all right. Like is it 11:30 yet? Is it 11:30 yet? Pretty much the past 5 hours, um so yeah, I've been anxiously looking forward to this tonight. So, I want it to be good. I want people to, you know, get something out of it. So
I greatly appreciate you fucking hanging out and fucking staying up, man. You know, it's we love to hear, grower stories, no matter who they are. They're all great tales. They're all great tales. I haven't heard not one bad cannabis story yet.
you know,
You know,
yeah, it's the truth is always better than like belief. And some of the things I've been through, I couldn't even make it up. You know.
one of the best things about you hanging out, toughing it out and staying out, is you brought the community another night of hanging out. So I think we all thank you for that, for sure, man.
And
That's
I'm
pretty
so glad
awesome.
you came on. I'm grateful to be here. Get it twisted for a second, man. I couldn't be happier. So
Where do you see your cannabis journey taking you? Do you plan to just kind of hang out, just grow your own, or do you see yourself kind of jumping in a little deeper at some point?
um yeah, as long as it's like, within the boundaries of what I can do, like legally and fucking, I would love to take this bigger, but I got some things. It's gonna be getting bigger anyway because I got things in the works, um, seed projects and stuff, and gonna be doing a lot of free seed giveaways. So because like one thing I don't care about is the commercial aspect of this whole industry. I think it's kind of like disgusting, really. Um, I don't like how people try to like monopolize on the plant. I think it's kind of, like playing God too much. So, I got plans, but nothing involving like selling anything for a profit or anything. It'll be free seeds.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. And well, now that you've done the spotlight, you can always come on one of the wormholes when you're feeling generous and want to give out some of them beans. You can always come on and pass some. Lord knows we love beans around here, Rob. And it's part of your name.
They don't call me the beansman for nothing. So um I we can give a pack away tonight if you want. It's up to you.
It's up to you, my friend. That's
The
you
untested,
know, it's not mandatory, but man, if you'd like to spread the love, that's on you, my friend.
it's not mandatory, but man, that would be good, right? Um, so yeah, we can do that.
Always right on, right on. Well, usually how when we give seeds away here, we usually do it in like a number, pick a number type thing.
That would be
Are
awesome.
you even able to see chat? Have you seen chat tonight?
Oh,
I didn't ask that before. I'm a shitty host. I forgot to ask that
I could barely
beforehand.
get it work. I wasn't really posting a lot of the chat, so
Right. Well, it's a bummer because they've given you a bunch of thank yous for sharing your story a few minutes ago. So hopefully you go back and check out some of the comments and said some pretty cool things for you hanging out. But
yeah,
so
thank you
yeah,
guys for coming.
unfortunately you won't get to see all the numbers and stuff then. But that's usually how we do it. It's we do like I usually take how many people. It's 80 currently. You know, multiply by 4, 32, 320. So that's like a 1 in 4 odds. being able to get the number. So if you tap your phone, you're on a phone, you can it'll say there'll be like a chat option, and that's just a chat between me and you. That's like a text chat between me and you. So the option would be between 0 and 320. So you want to pick out a lucky number between
Oh man,
0 and 320.
I can't do all that, man. Come on. I don't know how to do that. Hold on a second. Okay, I got it.
Well, yeah, all you gotta do is tap the screen. There you go.
All right. So just pick a number.
Yep. There you go. I
You
got it.
get it?
So now I'll put. I did. I did. So here in a sec, I will put start in chat. They'll have
But let
a
me tell
minute
you,
30 seconds.
dude, let me tell you what it is first.
Flow is your host.
All right. It's Orange Apocalypse Meow times Old Afghan NLD. They're regular seeds. Um, the Orange Apocalypse Meow is a super purple, very terpy, orangey, delicious candy tasting, beautiful colors. The NLD is a narrow leaf Afghan variety, so a little less common than the broadleaf that most people associate with Afghans. So I think it's kind of like a cool project. They are untested, so but they come from good stock, so and they should be real fun. They should be, good um in pretty much any environment. So at least we hope.
Right on. Right on.
So if you want to
But it
do that,
sounds good to me.
yeah, if people want to,
Sounds good.
yeah, however,
They
yeah,
think they've already got it, Rob. They think they've already got it. They think they're lip readers. I'm watching chat right now. And they said, chat said you mouthed it when you wrote it in chat, which I didn't see it. And well, if they're lip readers, they're lip readers. But it could have happened. But they say they seen it. Let's see how good of lip readers they are. So here
so
you
I'm at
guys go.
like 50 packs of seeds here.
Here you guys go.
So how many people
Oh
got it?
shit.
All right, I'm
Hold
picking
on,
a
I haven't put start.
no, we're picking a new number. Forget that. Everybody cheated.
They're already going. They didn't get it.
These people wanted to cheat.
There you go. You guys didn't get that one.
Oh no. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure the whole shit.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say, even if you did mouth it, they're terrible lip readers.
All right.
You guys still got 50 seconds. I have not seen that number yet.
All right. Let's do like closest number wins or whatever.
Yeah,
No.
we usually go the
All right.
closest. Thank you, by the way, for spreading some love around the community, man. It's been a great year. I've seen so many genetics just free flow through the community this year, man. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't breed shit that people would probably like hunt out to buy, but like I just breed what I love and enjoy. Like Most of the time, it's a passion project. 99% of the time.
This
So that's why.
here is my passion project, my friend. So that's it. That was that beeper that you heard there was the minute and 30. Of course, I did see stop there in chat. So anything after that stop, unfortunately, does not count. I'm going to cheat here, and I already see one number that is really close to the winning number. The winning number was 57. I already see a 55, but I think that's as close as we're going to get. That's pretty damn close.
Yeah, that's real close. Who was that?
That was, I believe it was Sunrise Grove. Yeah.
All right,
Check
well,
that. Yep, Sunrise Grove.
all right, yeah.
Sunrise Grove, could you please DM Rob's Beansman on Instagram? And you better follow him. You better be following him when you make that DM. Darn it.
Yeah, no
Just say it.
problem. Yo, dude.
Just say it.
Yeah, if you're not even gonna follow me, let's see.
They should this community is really good about supporting the people who come on. So
Yeah, dude. I mean, we can do another one if you want. I mean, we do another one. You want to wait a little while?
hold on, we have a dispute. That's up to you. We got it's soil borne addiction says Ivan. Also, damn it, I didn't see Ivan. He said Ivan said 55 too. So now it's a matter of damn it, who was first?
Yeah, I mean, neither one of you were exactly right. So how can we settle it?
It comes down to first. This has happened before. Shoot my mouth off before I double check. That's why. Oh, Ivan was first. Son of a bitch. I mean, he was like right out of the gate,
Yeah,
like
dude, you
fourth
guys,
one.
everybody, they both get a pass. Don't worry about it. They were both. That's only says
That's
they both.
even more awesome.
Yeah. And then like we'll do another one in a little bit. So
That's awesome, brother. I bet they both greatly appreciate that.
I hope they enjoy it. I purposely bred it for a reason because I loved both parents. So I haven't grown them out yet, but you know, I'm thinking they're gonna be pretty damn good. So
So
and
when you're
we'll do
as
another
you
good
as you're starting, I'm sorry, I'm rudely interrupting. Go ahead, my friend.
we'll do another giveaway in a little while. But you know, both those guys, that was a tie, so they both win. So that's how we'll do it.
It's really cool. Really, really. So when you're breeding, how are you choosing your males? If you don't mind sharing.
One second, trying to plug in here. Um, the males can be difficult. I definitely will not even pick them if they don't smell. So if they don't have like a smell going, this is crazy. This isn't anything scientific or anything, but it's just something I like to pick the smellier males. Um, but that's just one aspect of it. there's a lot more to it than that. There's, basically how much of a survivor is it, like how much can it handle adverse um environments and just thrive regardless. That's how I choose a male. Like they have to be tough.
Right on.
They can't be
So,
too small.
what are some of the things that you notice that the male would brings to the combo?
I feel like, oh man, I was just talking about this the other day with someone. I'm trying to think what I was telling him. I thought that there was a direct correlation between the male and the height. And I don't, like I said before, this is nothing scientific. It's just something that, color too. I feel like, like a colorful male seems to pass that trait on, like pretty often. Males, usually the structure, you'll see some, ideally you'll see, a lot of the best traits of each parent strand, whether it's a male or female. So even with your male, you want to hunt it the same way you do a female, and you want to hunt for whatever the best traits are, depending on your environment and what's best for you, you know.
So when you're pheno hunting the female, what are some of the things that you're taking into consideration? Is it more bud structure, or is it
No,
the structure of the plant?
structure is important. It's definitely not bud structure though. Um, I no longer care about bud structure. Like, I mean, ideally, you want it to yield, something, but with the female, it's all about the taste and the smell and the effects. Like I won't breed a female until I've already grown it out and smoked it and enjoyed it. Just choose your favorite, choose what you like, if you're making them for you.
Right. Bud structure definitely plays a lot in my decision. I hate to admit that, if it's a
No,
keeper or
it's
not.
important in
It,
like we're in different situations. In my particular situation, it's like it's just not important for me. Like obviously I'm not gonna pick something that looks like a Dr. Grinspoon unless I'm hunting that type of look. But like it's important to me, but it's not the most important thing. But but sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, you did? You did?
Oh.
Actually, it's just anymore, I just, trimming is, one of them things I'm just starting to dread. And I still do it by hand. So if it's, super leafy, it can be super good, but I ain't got time to trim super leafy shit anymore. I want stuff anymore that I just practically have to do nothing with. I know that sounds super lazy, but it definitely plays a lot into keeper or no keeper.
Yeah, like the high calyx to leaf ratio. That's important. Like nobody wants to be in trim jail all day or all night, all weekend. Um I don't know I mean, I guess like it depends on what the end result is. Like, is this staying as flour? Is it getting squished? Is, you know?
That's a good point. That's a good point right there. That's one thing I don't do. You know what I mean? I don't press anything into rosin currently, so that's not even, something that I'm even taking into consideration at this point. Hash, uh, that's one thing I don't. I always just look at hash as a bonus. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Oh,
It's not necessarily a key factor. I'm not growing for extracts, but I guess if it's still in consideration, and you know what I mean. I've harvested it, and I've had the chance to run that trim, and I see that it's a good material. It yields like crazy, full melty. Yeah, I may think that may add to keeper or no keeper, but not necessarily for extracts. Is why I'm growing at this point in time. But that's at this point in time, I guess.
exactly. You know, like all kinds of different buds have different purposes, you know, so that's why it's great that there's the variety there is, because you know, like you say, you're not looking for something super leafy, and you know, like I don't mind that always, because I'm, you know, like you said, making, you know, hash out of it. So like I can, some of those leafy plants just yield like crazy in the hash department, you know. um but it is
So
a
with
pain
that being said, though, I
to trim it, you know,
go
that's a,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
In my experience, some of the loudest shit that I've, with that being said, some of the loudest shit that I've ever grown has been just lettuce, you know, and
Yeah,
it's, uh,
dude, I remember like
so I
that,
guess if you,
go ahead.
no, 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 please, you're the guest.
No, you go. No. Yeah, so that bud I was telling you about earlier, the Piff Haze, I would not classify it as like pretty by any standards, you know, like it was it was deceivingly good, you know, because just looking at it, it didn't look like anything special, you know, and it was kind of like one of those don't judge a book by its cover moments for me, you know. When it came to cannabis. And at the same time, you know, there was a lot of dro and stuff around that, you know, like had big, huge buds, but maybe the flavor wasn't there, you know. Um, I can think of some bud that we had that had huge, big, dense buds, tons of white, I mean, tons of orange hairs, but the taste just wasn't there, you know. So there's, you know, ideally, you want those huge, dense buds and the flavor to be there, you know, and that's when you found something special, I think, you know, like, because you're right, dude. Who wants to be in trim jail all week? You know, like a lot of people are going for medical reasons. They might have arthritis, they might have this or that pain, and you know, like it's just not practical for everybody to trim like super leafy bud by hand, you know.
So you made me think of a question for you there. Yeah, taste and density. That's one of those things. So when are you pulling for your bud? Because I think that's both can be achieved without manipulation of the plant. It's just when you're harvesting. And later harvest can be a more dense of a bud, but earlier on can be more flavorful. For me, I prefer to let it ripen out. I like to see your fatten right up, and if it's a slight variation in flavor, I'm willing to lose a little bit of taste for you know the heavier weight and density of the bud. But how do you harvest? What's your factors that you're looking?
Probably a little earlier than you do. Um, just because I'm trying to capture it at that most flavorful moment. Um, without cutting it too early. You don't want to short yourself of like a couple extra ounces by cutting it too early. Um, it's kind of one of those things where you have to run the strand and see how long it can go, like, and if you know it can go 95 days, no problem, then by all means, if that's, then do it, or whatever it takes, 65, 75.
That's another thing too. I think people get a little bit anxious on that pull. People are afraid to let them, roll.
I would have to like take 5 clones of the same exact strand from the same exact plant and cut one at like 45 days, cut one at 50 days, cut one at 55 days. But like, I haven't done that. It's just too much work. So I'll experiment though. Like sometimes, like, because I do keep cuts and I do keep clones, like I'll try running it like 8 weeks. I'll try running it 10 weeks. I'll try running it 90 days and see which one's the best. You might think that they're
So
like, oh, you might lose a little flavor by running it longer, but if you prefer those effects, then there's no reason not to run it full term like that.
yeah, in my opinion, I'm not losing much flavor. I'm gaining more. From in my opinion, I prefer to let the. I don't even scope them anymore. That's long gone.
Oh no, no,
I
I
actually
haven't.
let them ripen out. I like to see that all them hairs changed, or damn near all of them change, before I'm thinking about harvesting. They'll change anyway and dry and throughout the dry. You know what I mean? Not always, but they. But I like to see it naturally done right there on the plant.
Yeah, no, you bring up like a ton of good points, man. Um, trichomes, sometimes they don't turn amber till you after you chop the plant. Um, hairs can turn red afterwards. Like the physiological part of the bud changes when you chop it. So, um, like you may be getting a little bit of CBN in there that you like, by running it a little longer. Um, but you're getting the added bonus of getting a bigger yield compared to if you chopped it at 60 days. And like I see a lot of beginners doing this, is that they try to follow the um the recommended growing time too much. So they'll message me and they'll be like, Rob, like it says it's a 60-day strand, but I'm on day 70 and it's not done yet. So it's like, I tell people you can't always go by that, by the
So
suggested.
you've got some nice looking flower shots on your IG page there. What has been one of your more picturesque strains?
Probably that orange apocalypse meow, man. That was just like Um, it checked all the boxes for everything I was looking for. You know, um, it's got big dense buds, beautiful purple colors, super frosty, amazing flavor, amazing smell, amazing everything. It's I couldn't, I wouldn't. It's perfect as is. Um, it's a beautiful plant, but it's also on top of being beautiful. It's very good medicine, and that is so important. If it was just beautiful, that would be cool. But the fact that it's also really good, just it's a total. It means everything. So, um, aside from that Mac One Panama Red, man, that thing is just it's some of the better tasting bud I've had in a while. Um, it just has this unique sort of. Someone said it was like sour apple, and I was like, dude, it is like sour apple, like um. But then it also has like blueberry flavors and all just it's just a kaleidoscope of flavors, and I just find it like oh it's just my go-to, those two. And can't forget Cosmic Blue. That's definitely my all-time, top three of all time. So
Definitely a good one. Definitely a good one right there.
yeah, which a lot of people might not have heard of before. It's Gorilla Glue number 4 times Space Queen. Um and it's just, it's unbelievably good. It checks all the boxes as well, like low, it's not super leafy, so the leaf to calyx ratio is good. Super terpy, super skunky, tons of flavor. It's just, really killer.
I see you're also may know another past guest, frequent bean giver, Miranda Family Farms. Just giving you a shout out and check currently.
Oh yeah, big shout out to him. He's a good friend of mine. Um, I highly recommend everybody give him a follow. He's very trustworthy, a fellow masshole. So, shout out to him.
There's another one that I missed, man, from the Boston area. Charlie's Farm 420, Farmer Willie over there in Boston, man. I miss that cat. I check in on him time to time, but man, in the beginning he was here quite a bit. I miss that dude as well. There's a lot of cool people over there in Massachusetts area, man.
Oh yeah,
Kevin Jodry, that was just here in chat earlier tonight, man. Again, what are those odds? What are those odds he'd happen to pop in on a Massachusetts episode, huh?
maybe like a subconscious thing or something. I don't know, but I'm glad he stopped in. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad everybody stopped in. Um, I never really like know what to say when I'm doing these, so I appreciate everybody bearing with me when I, stumble my words and shit. Um, Usually I'm in bed by like 9:30, so this is like a major step for me. So
Man, we appreciate it, man. And they have too, man. For sure, for sure.
like the thing with Boston is you just have people who don't give a fuck and they don't believe like, if something's just because they say something's illegal, they're not gonna just, be like, okay, well, we're not gonna do it. Like they're the kind of people who like rebelled against, like the British and shit. So, You know, like there's always been that person from Massachusetts who's like, you know, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna grow a warehouse full of plants, or, you know, I'm gonna fucking ride around with fucking 100 pounds in my trunk. So it's always been like, you know, easy to come by. But, you know, one thing that's been kind of inconsistent has been the quality. Like for a while, the quality was not too good. And like any good weed was just ridiculously expensive. Um, it was almost like out of touch if you weren't like, you know, like willing to spend that. So it was good bud, but I mean like I'm saying like $600 an ounce, you know, like just crazy prices. So, you know, just like who can afford that, you know?
It is pretty crazy right there. Holy shit.
I'm not saying that was normal. That's like, you know, it got that high at one point once ever. You know, that wasn't like a standard thing, but like, you know, 400 was, you know, like for the high end stuff, like 400 was pretty common. Mhm.
I think when it was more black market, I think well, most I seen or most I ever played was three, and that kind of scoffed at it. That was right about the time where it was like, you know what? I think I
Yeah,
could fucking do this.
yeah, exactly. Well, that it was almost like a blessing in disguise because all that bad bud was like the reason why I started growing. So it was almost like, you know, that blessing in disguise. Um, but
It's
I'm
been, that was one of those things I've talked about too. I think it's a character building experience. You know what I mean? It is, man. I think I've said this quite a bit too. I think that's the point, I believe, where it goes from rec to medical is when you actually start growing. I think that's the point where you go, you know what? There's something different. I just feel different about it. It just kind of calls you in a different way.
yeah, I mean, if you're growing for your own personal medicine, and that's like a really satisfying feeling, especially when it comes out killer. So I know that in itself is just one of those things where it's like it maybe normal people like when I say normal people, I mean like the anti-drug people, like maybe they might think it's lame, but to me, like uh, a successful harvest was like a really good feeling, you know, like that was like a proud moment. It might sound sad, but that was like a proud moment for me, like harvesting that first batch of like killer bud that was just like better than anything else around, you know? So,
I agree. I remember
so
I fucking gave out a lot of that first one just because I was so fucking proud of myself. You
yeah.
gotta try this shit I grew.
And then you have nothing left and you're like, damn, I wish I didn't give that kid a quarter, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But it just makes you want to learn more and better techniques. You go, shit, I gotta do a little bit better myself. Making them
Oh,
plants a little bigger.
yeah. As like time goes on, it's really obvious that it's still an evolving sport, you know, like we're still learning stuff every day here, you know, like so, you know, there's really it's all just trial and error right now. We're still trying to, you know, I mean, I think people are on to something when they're, you know, building a soil and trying to replicate, you know, like a what would be like a good environment for that plant, you know, like, um, I think those are the people who are closest to figuring this out are the ones who are, like, making their own soils that, are just full of stuff that's, like beneficial to plants.
Do you see yourself evolving down to like a complete living soil type environment someday?
I would,
You to go.
yeah, I prefer it honestly because, like, I would prefer a water only type situation. It would be easier, you know. It's not that, I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's the easiest way to grow. But you need to read up on it and the information's online. But once you do, you'll find that it's definitely the easiest way to grow, you know. You might have to
It's a
reamend
deep
it
rabbit hole.
twice, but aside from that, like, you can't beat something that's sort of like a water only type, you know, living soil.
Definitely nice looking plants. Tasty for sure. Right. But that's it. That is a deep rabbit hole. Once you start opening that organics and start reading, boy,
Especially when, and that's something, like, going back to your question earlier, like, that's something I'm considering looking into, is like maybe getting away from using those the roots organics and, just trying something different, maybe something like with more plant-based stuff and less like animal based stuff. I just but I'm still experimenting. There's I like cocoa, like, I've been wanting to go back to cocoa. It just, you get great results. I've done cocoa and had, like, a hell of a time doing it. Um, and then I switched to Pro Mix and like the pre-amended stuff, and I've tried pretty much most soils on the market. I don't like saying that like one's better than another. I think it's, that's my common theme, is that, like, it's about what's best for you individually. Something that works for me over here might not work for you over there, or for John in Arizona who has like a desert like climate. Um so, like, not everybody can grow organic. Not everybody wants to grow organic, and you know I find it interesting though. I find it all very just interesting.
I think that's another. Like as I talked about earlier, I think that's just another. It's another great way to grow, but I think that's another. As I spoke of earlier, just cultivating the plant, I think, is a character building experience. Yeah, but I think once you turn down that organic road, it's another bright turn character building experience for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing like, to me it shows that the person's interested in, you know having what they think will be like the cleanest meds possible. So that's usually like why they want to go that route. They think it's um the the best, like, cleanest, most natural type way to grow. Um I'm like I said earlier, I'm more like I don't care what I use. It's just about getting the good flavor, you know. That's my most important thing.
Well, that's well, as long as it meets your bill, that's all that matters. Just like you said there.
Yeah. Like it can be tough because you can, sometimes it takes a couple of runs to even like figure out your your soil or figure out your newt line. And then like once you finally do, now someone's like recommending you try something else. And it's like now you want me to try something else after I just am like now understanding this. Um, but like, so I don't try to like push it down anyone's throat, but I've for people who are like starting out, I tell them like don't be scared by organics and these like organic based products that it's nothing that don't think that it's like um too complicated for you.
You said that you're usually in bed a lot earlier. Are you an early riser? What do you do during the day? What's the
Yeah, I'm
daytime holds for?
early. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm just an early bird, like for no reason to. Like I don't have to get up for anything, but I don't know why. I just go to bed early and I wake up early. But that's like I don't know. It's just like the routine I've been in. Like I was on the other spectrum where I was like up every night from midnight to 5 a.m. and then I was like sleeping during the day and stuff. And like it which is cool, like that's fine. But this is just I don't know, it's just working for me right now. I like waking up earlier, like it's lame, but I feel productive, like waking up early and like banging out a few chores and stuff, like waking the sun up.
Right now. So, if you could tip your hat to somebody, who would you say who has been an influence in your growth? They don't have to be famous. They could be a friend, whatever. Has there been somebody that you've taken a lot of advice from, taken some notes?
Um, I don't know. Like I feel kind of like I've been selfish because like, you know, I I'd go around and like cherry pick things from people, like little tidbits here and there. Um, and I've picked up a lot from like a lot of different people. So um it's hard to think of one, but I could probably, like I could probably think of about 20, 30 people who have really been helpful to me, you know. The community is awesome, man. I love this community. Like before the whole thing happened, like I was going to the hemp fest here in Boston every summer, and like it'd be every September, and it was like one of the biggest ones in the country. And they called it hemp fest, but it was like, like it was just it's this big gathering in Boston Commons, which is like a huge park in the middle of downtown Boston. So if you can picture there being like a central park type place in the middle of a downtown city being filled with thousands of people smoking weed, and there's all these different like vendors and all different kinds of stuff like food trucks and like concerts. They had like actual musicians there and like real bands. And like I loved going to those events, you know. And like I'm really looking forward to going back to those type of events, you know, because like there's just something, it's just freedom, you know. Like you're in the middle of Boston and there's thousands of people smoking, and the cops can't do a thing, nobody can do a thing, you know. And it's beautiful, nobody's like fighting, nobody's hurting each other, it's like a peaceful event, you know. It's like that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Definitely love them events. My favorite thing about them events is that smell. I call it the festival smell. When you
Mm.
get out of the car at the event, and it's like every dab that you can imagine going on in there, just that one, just it's everything. It just smells so good. It makes you just want to like float it in there. It's like, oh, there's good times in there.
Like it could be a perfectly sunny day and there's just clouds of smoke, you know. Like the whole rest of the city is sunny out and then it's cloudy as hell right there, you know.
I've been to a cannabis cup in Clio, Michigan, that as I was traveling to the cup, I swear to you that I could smell cannabis 10 miles back on the highway. And that's no bullshit. It wasn't coming for me either. I just rolled down, half had the window cracked and I could smell it. I was like, I knew it was going to be an awesome day. And it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some legendary concerts out your way. I mean, if you want to talk about like cannabis history and everything, I mean, you know, there's been some really big things that have happened at things like, you know, concerts and now these conventions and stuff. Like it's it's a good thing for people in the community, you know. You couldn't do this stuff 10 years ago, and now that you can, it's like, you know, it's a weird feeling, but I like.
Dude, here in Michigan, we're working on like camping events. We're having camping smokeouts here, man. We're not like you come and fucking go home that day. We're like fucking come, stay the weekend, come heavy handed and shit, and just get fucked up for the weekend and shit. That's
I
kind of
mean,
so.
it sounds silly, but that's like that could draw a big crowd, which could, you know, make a lot of money for a lot of people, and it could be a good thing, you know. Like um hopefully, you know, like hopefully the towns and cities involved will see it that way, and you know, you'll just start seeing a lot more of these type things, and maybe even like a cannabis tourism type thing where, you know, you can go to like some cool like summer camp for stoners or something, like some cool like camp out with bands and barbecues and all that stuff. Like that would be killer, you know. Like that's like an amusement park for adults, you know. Like
It was a good time because it seemed to be like the funnest part of the evening, like when people were wandering off from the main event and like going heading back to their campsites, and then it was, people gathered around the fucking fire burning down. You could hear little bits of shit, stories as you walk through. But man, it was definitely more of that community vibe. You know what I'm saying? The night times. was way cooler, I think, than the daytime event.
Oh yeah, dude. Everything that's just, it's almost like you were saying earlier, like you don't even get into the show until like 2.5 hours in, like that's how a lot of these events are, where like the nighttime is where, everybody's just like more comfortable, and people are winding down and like just enjoying each other's company. So I've always been a big fan of that type of stuff. Like I think that sounds really fun, like what you said before. Like I would go to that.
Is well, the main one I've been up here to, and it's in northern Michigan, and it's set in the middle of fucking Huron National Forest, and it's there. There's absolutely nothing around. You know what I mean? So it's just like a bunch of fucking stoners in the middle of the forest, and it's pretty cool. It's actually it's at a Bigfoot Lodge, they call it, in here in northern Michigan. And it's you're in an area where you could sit there and smoke a joint and be like, Bigfoot could be around here.
Yeah, yeah.
You're that deep in the woods where it's fucking possible. It's possible.
Well, I could picture that being just like incredible. You know, I would love to go. Is
I hope
that?
you guys get some events like that. They should be more like that. Or you can come here.
Well, it
You
might
can
like
come to ours.
they advertise something. If they came up with something like a package where it's like a plane ticket, an Airbnb, and you get to go to that show for like a set price, I would 100% go. You know,
Yes. You
or I
bring up a
could
good
buy
point there.
sleep in my car, and
I think
I,
there should be more cannabis resorts.
I think it's it's a good idea.
Cannabis themed resorts. I mean, hotels to where like you've got your dab bar already set up for you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Boy,
yeah.
I'd hate to fucking get in. You people talk about getting that alcohol or the shit out of the mini fridge at a hotel. Imagine how fucking bad it
Goodness.
would be to grab them dabs out of the fucking dab bar there. Oh, it'd probably be astronomical.
That would be amazing, I hope that's like I hope that's the direction that things are going in, where it just becomes like much more like acceptable and prevalent and open, and like I think
Fuck
we
yeah! Could you imagine? Just imagine like a room service, like fucking being
here's
checked in like that and just sitting down and having like a menu and just be like, yes, I'd like a quarter of the OG, and somebody just run it up to your room and shit. Just yeah, here you go, sir. I'll put it on the bill.
that other,
It'd be fucking awesome.
like the way there's a hotel bar, like it'd be cool if there was like a hotel, smoke lounge, but we'll see how things go. Can't rush it too much. Like I'm more focused on like the whole aspect that like a lot of states still can't grow legally, like I think that's a huge like issue that nobody no one person could conquer, like it would take something like the cannabis community to continue rallying the way they were, you know for legalization, because like it's good times, but people are still going to jail for this, you know, and it shouldn't be that way.
You're right. You're right. You know, it should be more normalized. I can't believe how quickly I adapted. To be honest with you, it blows my mind to believe that there's still areas in the United States, in the world, that you could go to jail for pictures on your phone, whatever. I like I said, I can't believe how quickly I adapted from like not thinking I would ever see anything close to this in my lifetime to smoking quite frequently in public
Yeah.
and fucking almost blatantly sometimes. You know what I mean? I've actually talked about smoking that joint like almost right up to the store door and then flinging it like a fucking cigarette on my way.
Yeah, I walk down my street smoking a joint like it's a cigarette, like it's nothing, you know, like, but, and like, I forget what I was going to say, but I know you mentioned something earlier about like how society was about it, like how the people were, how they viewed it, you know, like, and like in this area, people are pretty laid back about it, but like, I don't know if people would be like that in other parts of the country, you know, like, um, you know, because I know there are, like you said, it honestly, when it became legal, it might as well already have been legal because I'm sure you had already been blazing, you know, like I didn't just start smoking weed in downtown Boston when it became legalized, you know, like that was an always that that wasn't like a new thing, but you know, like I'm curious how other places are regarding like the social stigmas and stuff, and you know, I know some places like, I mean, you know, like Oklahoma, I always considered them to be more maybe like on the conservative side, but you know, like it seems like um people seem to be pretty okay with it over there, so seems to be doing good over there, so I guess I'm not sure how, you know.
No, it is. Well, it even in the amount of time it's been legal here in Michigan, there's still those folks that shun down on it a little bit. It's still depending on the environment and the crowd. It depends on how open I will be about what I do. Then there's times though you can't get me to shut up about it in the crowd. So depends.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like to think of it just like it's growing any other plant, like you're growing tomatoes. You know, like I don't, I don't look at it as anything like, you know, bad or anything. But it's honestly been like nothing but a great experience for me, and like I just, you know, I wish I could go out and spread the word about how much, you know, growing my own stuff has like helped me out, you know, because it genuinely has. Um, it's kind of been like the one, you know, like that one um constant thing in my life, you know. It's kind of like my, it's like part of my foundation at this point, you know. It's like in my blood, and I, you know, it's just like the moonshiners, you know, like it gets in your blood, and you know, like you get hooked on growing, you know. And it's like it's not even, you know, it's like you just enjoy it. It gives you peace. It's relaxing, you know, like they did a study about these old ladies in Japan, and they were trying to figure out why they lived so long, and it turned out that they were all gardeners. That was the constant, that they all gardened, and they all lived in late into their 90s, you know. I know I'm trying to grow some food this year. I'm trying to grow some tomatoes and beans and stuff like that.
Getting some cucumbers from Miranda Family Farms.
Dude, this guy down the street from me grows these giant, like huge pumpkins, and I don't know if he uses hydronewts or what, but he grows these like he like enters them into competitions, you know, these giant pumpkin competitions.
I'm there. That's when I grow. When I was growing a garden a few years back before I moved up here, that was always one of the things I like to grow, just for that reason right there. I never entered any competitions, but I always liked to fucking just see how big of a fucking pumpkin I could grow. The other thing I kind of fucking like to grow, which I had no real need for, and was sunflowers.
I
I used to
knew it.
grow some
I fucking
big
knew.
mammoth motherfuckers.
I love growing those. I highly recommend everybody try growing sunflowers. They're wicked fun to grow. They grow wicked fast. They're just like really fun and beautiful plants. But I don't want to bore people talking about sunflowers. So um, you know, I definitely want to talk about the bud. So I apologize for getting off topic there. Um, but I do recommend everybody try it out, you know, try growing something else. It helps you out, you know, it can help you out with growing cannabis if you're growing other plants, you know.
I definitely agree with that. Widens your skill, widens your skill set for sure.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to add to this? I think I've kind of brain dry on my questions here. Is there anybody you'd like to give some shout outs to? You want to jump in the wormhole?
Yeah, I definitely wanna give a few shout outs. And I apologize like for not being able to follow the chat. I just couldn't do both at once. It's way too much. But I appreciate everybody who stayed in tonight, and you know, I'm down to do one more giveaway. Um, how many people do we have on right now?
We're hanging at 82, man. We've tapped out over 100 at one point tonight, hanging out with you.
Are you done, or do you want to do one more giveaway? And then we'll start wrapping things up. I'll just, you know, I'll send you a number. Um, we'll do a giveaway or what?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I am not gonna not deny this community any chance to fucking grow, brother. That'd be counterproductive of what I do here.
That would go against the whole thing. That would kind of be counter contra.
But I, I do thank you for helping the cause. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude, I like doing stuff like that. It just makes it kind of fun, and you know, it's just for fun. Like I don't have a ton, but I do want to give a few away. Just to show my gratitude to the community, and you know,
Uh,
most
Well,
people
I think the
could-
community owes a little gratitude for you for helping us have another night. I think I kind of pointed that out earlier, man.
And I will hit up the two winners, so don't worry about that. I'll hit you guys up. I don't know if they're still on or not, but I'll hit them up later about the prize. So I'll send you a number, all right?
Okay, man.
And I'm not gonna melt it this time.
Should have tricked him. You should have tricked him. You should have just totally mouthed something completely off the wall just to see if they could pick it up.
What are we doing? What is it between what 1 and 100 and
We'll do. We went up a little bit, 85. So we go 340, 340, 0 to 340. Nice. All right, guys. I do have that number. See if you can make any use of what he mouthed you there. Here you guys go. Here is that start. Timer is going. Good luck to you guys.
All right. Yeah, so dude, I just want to give a few shout outs. Before I mention Boston Bob, Anthro Amelia, um, Not Another Grower, Miranda Family Farms, Tiger Stripe Genetics, and the whole North Star crew. Um, just everybody who's, like helped me out with anything. Um, if I didn't mention you, I'm sorry about that. But I, I, it's nothing personal. I'm just not, can't think right now. So don't take it personal if I forgot to give you a shout out. Photography, my girl Katie, shout out to her. Um, Fucking shout out to you, Eagle. Who else?
You know what's you know what's kind of funny here? Not you. I'm not stopping the shout outs. Hopefully, I'm not stopping your. But they're closer with the the last mouth than they were with the real one. If you can believe that.
Uh-oh.
That is the time's
That's
up.
the timer.
That is the time's up for the giveaway there. Nothing counts after the stops.
Follow me too. Like everybody watching, if you follow me, I'm gonna do another giveaway soon. I got a bunch more seeds in the works. The Cosmic Blue Cross and the Cosmic Blue seed increase, the old Subcool Classic. Um, so I'm gonna be giving away a lot of those as free seeds for weed nerds type thing. So because I just want people to enjoy this medicine, you know.
No dispute this round. No dispute this round. Soil borne addictions hit it dead nuts. 121. So cheers to you, brother. Soil borne addictions.
Ask you, did you want to ask me anything?
What's that?
Was there anything else that you wanted to ask or anything that you wanted me to clarify about?
Sorry about that. Got double R there. I think I pretty much covered it, but with that being said, it's like I was hitting to you earlier. Uh, you have to do this portion of the show to be able to pop in the wormhole, and I really hope that you do. You know what I mean? I hope this isn't my last opportunity to hang out with you. I hope you pop in one of these wormholes one night. Monday nights are guaranteed wormhole nights. If you want to pop on that any Monday, no, any other chances are late nights or with no guests, but that'd be cool.
I'll be
Same
back.
same Zoom number.
Oh, I'll be back.
I hope so. I hope so. It's always the same Zoom number, so go ahead and keep that Zoom number. And funny, you want me? I'll tell you a little funny story before I ask you for your soundbite about the Zoom invitation. So, as I've said many times on the air, the Zoom invitation is the same for the nightly wormholes. So lately, I've had cancellations or no shows on the show, and in one instance or two instances this last week in the no shows, I've said, thanks. I'm bummed. I was bummed you did no show where I'm always open to reschedule. And a couple of times I've seen you didn't send the invitation or the invitation didn't come. And, obviously it's fucking Instagram. I can see when you've looked at that invitation, correct? So, in my responses to that is I did send it, but I pulled that invitation back. I unsent it because you didn't earn it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
security reasons.
yeah,
You didn't earn your invitation, so I unsent it. So,
Yeah, well, I think you did the right thing, bro, because honestly, like, I consider this a huge opportunity for me, and I'm fucking honored to be here, you know? So if they missed out, then you snooze, you lose, because like um this isn't just like, you know I don't know, it's just like a huge privilege for me to be here. Like I consider it a true honor, man. And if other people didn't, then fuck them, because like they're missing out, man. Like you're one of the best people out right now. Like you literally do this shit every night no matter what, and like you're sacrificing your like 3 or 4 hours of your night every night for this community, and like I'm just honored to be here.
it means a lot that you view it that way, for sure, because I view it quite the other way. It's an honor, like I say in the invitation, it's an honor to have you guys on the show. It's an honor to hear you guys' story and you guys making yourself available for this. So it definitely works both ways, brother.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with coming on, and like definitely coming on the wormhole, doing a few giveaways, and I don't know, maybe I'll have something else figured out by then. um
And I almost feel guilty about asking for the soundbite after them kind words, but any chance I could get you to give me a soundbite for your episode? Do you know what the soundbite is?
um no.
Well, basically, what I'm looking for is like the old radio station identification kind of type shit. Hell, this is Planetary and I'm on Z Rock, but in this case, I'm kind of looking for, hey, this is Rob B, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 344. You can add on to that anything, you put shout outs onto that, whatever it is. This is basically your commercial for your episode. So.
Oh man. Okay, hold on, give me a minute. Fuck, I already fucked it up. Can we start over or no?
Absolutely. Many people, Danny Danko had to do it 5 times before he got it right.
I don't
Go
feel
ahead.
bad. Good.
I'm ready when you are, my friend.
This is Rob Beansman, and we're on Talking Shit with Eagle. Eagle Gardens 1. And what else? This is episode 3. This is episode 330. I don't know. What'd you say?
344.
Man.
344.
You need me to do that again?
Only if you want to. I like it when they have fun. When you guys have fun with it, got to struggle through it. It kind of shows how much fun you've had.
Okay, let's try it one more time, and then after that, I give up.
Here we go.
This is robbeansman, and you're listening. Ah, fuck. I fucked it up again. This is robbeansman. You're listening to Talkin Shit With... Oh, man. Let me start one more time. I got it.
Here you go. After you,
All right,
my friend.
This is robbeansman. You're listening to fucking Talkin Shit With Eagle. Boom.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
I do thank you, man. It was awesome getting to know you tonight, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. And thanks for everybody watching at home. You guys stay safe. Stay medicated. Same with you, Eagle. Hopefully we'll get to smoke more next time. We don't get to smoke that much. But, we'll have to smoke a little more next time.
Anytime. I will not turn down any sessions.
This is
So that is gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, Rob. Go, please.
This is the that orange meow that I'm always talking about. So just a little one. It's a cut. Sorry, the camera's kind of fucked up, but just wanted to show that to you guys. That's some other stuff.
Greatly appreciate it. It's a nice looking plant.
This is something I'm heavy, but this is the mixed lighting. This is like a metal halide and then like a cheap blurple LED. And they work all right together, you know, like for what it is. So people like to knock those blurple lights, but they're okay.
I agree, especially for veg. They veg up some beautiful plants.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, thank you so much again for having me. I'll see you soon.
Hopefully. You have a good night, man.
You too, brother.
That wraps up this episode. Hopefully, you guys will be following him on Instagram. If not, you're missing out. Great gentleman. We are looking forward to seeing more of him. But that does end this episode 344. You guys looking to come hang out in the wormhole? Give me a few minutes to kind of stretch and reload the tray, and hopefully I'll see you then. You guys know the routine. Excuse me. Please try to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness, just like Robbie did tonight. Do save lives, change lives. Thank you guys for tuning in. We